Anubis.
This is a WVBS special report. I'm your host, Anchor Anubis. Thank you for joining me this evening. I'm coming to you live from this field near the Sea of Galilee. Now, we had previously been following for you the story of John the Baptizer, who had been attracting large crowds of followers, baptizing them to repent for their sins. John the Baptizer promised his followers that, and let me quote, "After me comes he who is mightier than I, the strap of whose sandals I am not worthy to stoop down and untie." In a stunning turn of events, John baptized his cousin Jesus and announced to his followers that Jesus is actually the one that we should be following. This seems to have kicked off the start of Jesus' own ministry, with crowds now following him everywhere that he goes. But from these crowds, Jesus has handpicked 12 men who seem to be a little different from the rest. 12 apostles. Now, how did this happen? Well, in this WVBS exclusive, I have 4 of the apostles joining me here tonight to share their story. Hi, how are you? Where are you from and how did you get here?
That's a lot of questions. I'm Peter. This is Andrew, my brother, and this is James and John. We're all from the region of Galilee near Capernaum.
Wait, I thought one of you was named Simon.
Yeah, that's me too. My parents' name is Simon, but Jesus changed my name to Peter, and sometimes people call me Simon Peter as well.
Okay, that's not confusing at all. So my understanding is that you all knew each other before today, is that right?
Yeah, we worked together as fishermen. Andrew and I had a fishing business, and it's pretty successful. And James and John, their father, they worked with him in a fishing business as well. And we all worked together just catching fish.
Let's get fishing.
Let's get fishing.
Now, you said you were fishermen, and well, something has obviously changed because I'm looking at your boat over here, and there's nothing in there.
That's true. So recently, Peter and I have been fishing all night. We couldn't catch a thing. We had come back ashore and we were washing our nets, and then Jesus came up to us, and I was pretty excited because I was already telling Peter, James, and John all about Jesus and his cousin, John the Baptizer. Well, Jesus asked if we could take him out into the sea a little bit, and he got into Peter's boat with us and started teaching us, and along with some others on the shore as well.
Yeah, it was really amazing to hear him teach. I mean, when he was finished, he told me to put the nets on the other side, and I didn't understand that. I mean, we've been out all night trying to catch fish and nothing. But I'll tell you, something about the way he told me to try again just made me want to.
Sure enough, we were catching so many fish, their nets broke.
So he helped you catch more fish. Well, that doesn't explain why you're not fishing anymore.
We can tell you about that.
Okay,
Sorry, we get excited sometimes. That's why Jesus likes to call us the sons of thunder. So John and I were in our boat, and once we got all the fish in, Andrew said that, "Follow me, and I will make you become fishers of men."
Fisher of men? What does that even mean?
We were wondering the same thing, and but we believed Jesus so strongly that we just put down our nets and followed him.
It's truly powerful news.
Thanks
For sharing your story. Now, it's been great to talk to you 4, but I understand that you have 8 additional friends who are also called to be fishers by Jesus. Is that right?
We can tell you about them.
Okay, that's enough.
Meet Philip. He is the cautious and indecisive one in our group. He can't really decide what to do, and often relies on others.
This fellow over here is Nathaniel. Where's Nathaniel at? Or Bartholomew, as we like to call him. Him and Philip were pretty tight, but we all came together.
Next we have is Matthew, our main man Matthew. He used to be a tax collector, and we don't like tax collectors. But Jesus saw something in him, and now he's one of us.
Now we got Thomas. Where's Thomas at? Yeah, he's also doubting Thomas. You want to know why?
That's right.
He doubted who Jesus was, but in this setting, we won't talk about that.
So there's another James in our group. I'm James, son of Zebedee, but there's also James, the son of Alphaeus. And you might hear him be called James the Less, but I'm not actually sure how he got that name.
Moving on, we can meet Thaddeus. Let's look at Thaddeus over there. There he is. Some people like to call him Judas, but let's stick with Thaddeus because there's another Judas in the group.
There's also Simon the Zealot. I can't really tell you much about him beforehand, but all we know is that he upholds the law of Moses.
And last, and probably the least, we have Judas Iscariot. Judas is the only one in the group that's not from Galilee. And he takes care of our money for us.
That's right. Well, thank you so much, gentlemen. This has been really great. Now, Peter, I do have one last question for you, and that is, can you explain for us the difference between a disciple and an apostle?
Yeah, that's a great question. Anyone who follows Jesus and obeys what he says can call themselves a disciple. 12 of us, because we study and learn directly from Jesus, we're apostles. So he recruited us specifically to share the message of his word.
Well, thank you, Peter, or Simon, whatever your name is. Well, thank you all for joining us here tonight from the shore of the Sea of Galilee. This has been a special report from WVBS News. Thank you and good night.